What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about... What am I talking about? Ghostbusters! Oh, right, thanks. Just give me 1 second.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters? Yeah, I wanted to do a review on Afterlife.
You do?
Yeah, I saw it.
You have? No kidding. Uh-huh. Well, just give me the address.
What does that have to do with any...
Just give me the address.
Alright, I'm gonna go now.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's get right into it. So, Ghostbusters Afterlife tells the story of Callie, a struggling single mother, and her 2 children, Trevor and Phoebe, that are evicted from their home and forced to move to a rural farmhouse left to them by her estranged father. The first third or so of this movie focuses on the typical teenage angst of moving to a new area. You have Trevor, played by Stranger Things actor Finn Wolfhard, who meets this girl he likes and gets a job with her so they can spend more time together. And then you have Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace, who is brilliant, but a bit of an outcast, struggling to make friends in this new area. However, she does meet Podcast, this hilarious kid that makes, well, podcasts all about conspiracy theories, and she also meets Gary Gruberson, a seismologist and a mentor figure, better known to the world as Paul Rudd.
You're cool, because you don't give a shit?
Yeah,
Yeah? Is that it?
pretty much.
The movie does eventually get into the Ghostbuster elements when Trevor finds and repairs the Ecto-1 in the garage, and Phoebe is led by a ghost to this underground lab where she finds a proton pack and the Ghostbuster uniforms because, and I'll give you a second here, we have an incoming spoiler alert. Yes, that's right, their grandfather was none other than Egon Spangler. Now, since this is still pretty new, I'm gonna get into my thoughts here, as this is where the movie gets pretty spoiler heavy. If you wanted a full breakdown, I could do that in a future video, but this one is just meant to be a general synopsis, and then jumping right into my opinion on the movie. And right from the top, I have to say, this is a damn good time. Now, it's not perfect, it's not without its flaws, which we'll get into, but if you gave me the choice between Ghostbusters 2, the 2016 reboot, or this movie, I'm taking Afterlife 8 times out of 10, with the other 2 going to Ghostbusters 2, never the reboot.
That's kind of harsh.
Jason Reitman, who is the son of Ivan Reitman, the director of the original Ghostbusters, talk about pressure, gives us a great story that honors the original while carving its own path, stunning visuals, exciting action sequences, and best of all, a few characters that I was very emotionally invested in. Unsurprisingly, Paul Rudd is really good in this movie, even if we don't get quite enough of him. But I remember being shocked, leaving the theater thinking, there's a performance I liked in this movie more than Paul Rudd, and it was from a child actor. McKenna Grace as Phoebe is far and away the best part of Afterlife. A character played that smart at the age of 12 could have easily come off as unrealistic or an annoying know-it-all. But she never does. Even as smart as she is, she somehow remains likable the entire movie.
How are the jokes coming along?
Why should you never trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
That's funny. No, it's not.
I was just invested in this character the entire runtime, and to me, she stole almost every scene that she was in. If there are any plans for a future Ghostbusters movie and she's involved, well, sign me up. There are some genuinely great action sequences in this movie, most notably the chase through Somerville, as Trevor, Phoebe, and Podcast are chasing Muncher who got away from them. It was fast-paced, it was exciting, it was just a really good time. I found myself in the theater legitimately grinning from ear to ear while watching this scene. And then on top of that, all the action, I would say in the last half hour of this movie, is also very well done. But I won't go into detail about that for spoiler's sake. The chemistry between all the actors is just fantastic here. I truly believed Phoebe and Trevor were siblings just based off how they teased each other and how they played off each other. There are also some really good jokes in here, as Paul Rudd and Logan Kim, who plays Podcast, a lot of times provide some comedic relief in these really tense moments.
I've always wanted to do this.
And I just thought the humor was really handled well. Afterlife just has so much heart, creating its own legacy, while simultaneously showing so much love and respect to the original source material. God, I love this movie.
God, I love that.
All right, now here's a big one. For my last positive, I'm gonna give this movie credit where a lot of other critics and reviewers take points away from this film. Personally, I thoroughly enjoyed all the fan service and callbacks we got in this movie. I've seen so many people complaining about this, and while yes, it is very heavy on the fan service, there's a ton of it, to me, it only takes away from the experience if the movie can't stand on its own legs without these moments. Afterlife has a very clear vision and story to tell, and it's a story you can comprehend even if you haven't seen the original Ghostbusters. So to me, I enjoyed the hell out of these moments. It didn't take away from this film whatsoever. There was actually nothing I hated about this movie, but I do have a few nitpicks. I don't want to come off like it's the perfect movie. So firstly, the mother character Callie and the brother Trevor, they really didn't have a lot to do here. They tried to give Trevor like this love interest, but for whatever reason, that part of the movie it just didn't grab me. I didn't really care about it. Also, there was a large chunk of the runtime that Paul Rudd wasn't around for, which totally makes sense in the context of the story. But you know, that's always a bummer.
Yeah, totally. Totes my goats.
I'm gonna make some tea.
And then finally, there was this large exposition dump during a certain phone call. But it didn't make a lot of sense to me because these characters had never met. Like, I understand why we, the viewers, needed this information, but it seems strange just to tell everything on the phone when you've never met this person in your life. I just feel like it could have been presented in a better way.
We're ready to believe you. We're closed.
But overall, when I'm weighing all the great things this movie did compared to the few minor nitpicks I have, for the first time in a long time, I am excited for the future of this franchise. This feels like a Ghostbusters sequel done right. Yes, I liked it more than Ghostbusters Part 2. I would even go as far as to say Afterlife is one of my favorite movies of 2021. So I'm gonna give this 8.5 Crunch Bars out of 10. That's gonna do it for my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments below, as from what I've been reading, this is definitely one of the most polarizing movies of the year. You have some people that hate the fan service and think it's overdone, and they just can't get over those aspects. And then you have people in my camp that absolutely loved almost everything about this movie. Let me know if you fall on one of those sides or somewhere in the middle. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing right over here so you don't miss any future content. And if you want to check out some other stuff on my channel, including reviews, ranking lists, reaction videos, heavy with the R's, you can find some of those right over here on this side. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.